What up and good morning. We are going old school here on this April 4th for SimWorld today, but we are still delivering an audio version only of this episode. I am Marsh, joined as I am every Thursday by the one and the only Rick Blaze. Blaze, how are we doing down in Texas?
Hey, we feeling really good right now in Texas, but we're gonna get to that in just a moment.
Well, we're not feeling so good up in Boston if you're the road team, as the Oklahoma City Thunder get trounced 135-100. That's where we're going to start today. SWBA, the Celtics, the 35-point win. It's the second straight loss of back-to-back for the Thunder. They lost the tough one to the 76ers on Joel Embiid's return game. But the Celtics now have home court advantage, Rick, throughout the NBA playoffs. And I'm curious, do you think that actually is going to matter for the Celtics?
Nope, I don't. It didn't matter last time. Um, they lost at home when it counted most. I think this. We've been talking about this Celtics team. I feel like every year we kind of talk about them the same, and every year so far in the playoffs they flame out the same. So when I'm talking about home court and not home court, is it supposed to be advantage? Yes. With this team, it doesn't seem to have the type of advantage when you need it most in closeout games. So I'm not sure if it for this particular team, if it kind of wavers them or puts them at an advantage any more than anyone anymore with this particular squad, because I don't think it matters with this team. Some teams it doesn't. Some teams it matters a lot. With this team, you know, it's all about the two guys. Tatum and Brown. So what can Brown do for you? What can the Celtics do? The home court advantage, I don't think is the biggest deal for this team.
Well, I think that the unfair piece that we've bestowed upon the Celtics has been their struggles in the postseason, because I think those early seasons, those struggles they weren't even supposed to be there. The East was just so bad that, yeah, you look at the conference standings and you say, wow, Boston 2017, 2018, they're top seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, but the East wasn't what it was today, right? There was not nearly as much depth. And so they almost get these long runs by default because they just wasn't anybody else to stand in their way. And they ultimately obviously end up losing to LeBron James. I don't think that it's going to matter because I think they're just better than the rest of the East right now. I still don't believe that they're going to win the NBA or the SWBA finals. I think that's Denver's to lose right now. But I think it matters in the only ways that now you don't have to go to Philadelphia for a game seven. Obviously, it didn't matter last season, like you mentioned, when Miami came in and knocked them off, but it clearly mattered in that comeback last season against the Sixers when they were down 3-2. They've proven they can win on the road, but the fact that you get game seven at home is good. I just don't know that the rest of the Eastern Conference is going to be good enough to push them to a game seven, Rick. What are we getting out of Joel Embiid? The Bucks have been inconsistent. The Pacers have dramatically fallen off. The Knicks, are we even going to get a healthy New York? I just don't know that I can trust the rest of that conference to be respectable.
So you saying you thinking the Celtics running and walking away with this thing easily in the Eastern Conference? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah, partially because I think Jason Tatum's awesome. Jaylen Brown's been pretty good this season. He's been really good. When Kristaps Porzingis was a phenomenal pickup for them because it adds another wrinkle to that team.
Great X factor. He's a great X factor.
Phenomenal, just because you cannot do some of the things that you could do previously, right? If you switch that, Porzingis is a phenomenal interior presence, right? If you're going to do a Tatum Porzingis pick and roll, if you put a smaller guy on Porzingis, he's going to get into the post in ways that I don't think Al Horford could in previous seasons. If I'm just looking at the Eastern Conference, though, I don't know that there's a team atop that conference that really scares me. I mean, the Cavs are number 3, 46-31. The Knicks are number 5 at 44-31. So you're probably going to have one of those three teams, as with the Magic in between, as likely the 3 seed. The Bucks are number 2. They just lost to the Grizzlies. Like, Giannis played last night and they lost by 10
Yep.
to the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, what should I be? This is a better Eastern Conference than it was when I chatted about earlier that the Boston Celtics kind of made it by default. But Who in that conference are you afraid of if you're the Boston Celtics?
You know what? Yeah, I've changed my tune. That doesn't happen often. Marsh, you've won me over.
I love it.
I forgot because I'm so not used to Porzingis actually playing on his team. I'm so used to him being on an IR. But
Hmm.
he's been relatively healthy this year for Boston. He's a very important X factor with a healthy Porzingis. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Fingers crossed in Boston. You're right. I think they do have a chance of kind of stamping the Eastern Conference, and their odds of going to the NBA Finals representing the East is probably greater than any other Eastern Conference team at this time. You're right, Marsh. You
Thank
heard it
you.
here first.
I
You heard it
mean,
here first.
shocking, right? Shocking that I could be right. But look, I honestly think the second best team in the Eastern Conference is currently the 8 seed, and that's the 76ers, who were barely treading water. Might be a compliment for what they did without Joel Embiid. Also, a big night though last night. The Pistons take down, or excuse me, they fall to the Hawks, but 50 points from Malachi Flynn, which feels like the most disrespectful 50 since Corey Brewer did it with the Wolves. Um, I've suddenly lost to the appeal to seeing a 50-point game when a guy does it who's averaging 4.5 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Corey Brewer, he did it one time with the Wolves against my Rockets too. So Corey Brewer got a few 50-point games in his bag once against the Rockets. But yeah, to everyone who's listening, to all the players and all the coaches in SimWorld Prep, this goes to show you how great NBA players
Right.
are. That guys on the end of the bench averaging 4 points a game can drop a 50 burger in the game. It's all about opportunity and fit and system, which is what I talked about yesterday on the show. So that I think that's it speaks to me. I'm looking at it more to that. But yeah, to have a guy Malachi Flynn to just randomly drop 50 points in the NBA and have that kind of go up on the stat sheet is kind of like an eyesore. No one besides Malachi's high school teammates and his hometown fans thought he could drop 50 in the NBA game. But again, the talent is a SWBA game. Okay, I'm sorry. But his talent, the talent in the SWBA is that immense that even the worst player on the bench can put in work.
And it overshadows a huge night from Jalen Johnson. 28 points, 14 boards, 11 assists. The Hawks clinch a play-in spot. They're now 36 and 40. DeJounte Murray, 24 and 11 in this game, and DeAndre Hunter adds 26. This team just continues to be, in my opinion, better without Trae Young. I mean, I know that we keep saying, oh, Trae Young, he's the better basketball player than anybody on here. Is he? Is he really? I mean, yeah, he's offensively sick, but like he's actually not an awesome 3-point shooter. If you look at his statistics, he just hits enough deep balls that people are like, yep, that guy, he's Steph Curry like. Like I I'm sorry, but the Hawks have looked like they look like they have an identity. Like if you go currently their starting lineup last night, DeJounte Murray, Bogdanovich, Hunter and Jalen Johnson at the forwards, and Clint Capella at the five. Look, you're not going to get 26 a night from DeAndre Hunter, but that group, Murray, great defensive point guard, very good playmaker, 11 assists. Bogdanovich, really nice 3-and-D wing. Jalen Johnson turning into something else. If DeAndre Hunter is just a competent 3-and-D 4 or 3, whichever one you got, probably at the 3, this like is kind of a good basketball team. It's not that deep, but it's kind of actually good.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost like an addition by subtraction from your greatest superstar. DeJounte Murray is not better than Trey Turner, so I'm not saying that. I would never say that. That's just not. But
Very young,
be
but
like
yeah.
it seems to be like the fit is better as a team chemistry fit. He does bring something on defensive end. Uh, you know, my guy ain't doing that on defensive end. But Murray does play defense, so he does have an advantage from his position from that standpoint. But it's a kind of a small sample size. But right now, I tend to agree that team seems to be a better fit with Murray at the in that position, being the lead dog for that team, and it just works, right? His stats aren't gaudy, but it just works. Atlanta gonna have some things to consider between this Trae Young, DeJounte Murray situation if it continues to play out the way it's playing out.
All right, the last quick piece on that because we'll keep rolling here, but These are the two averages between the two guys. We'll start with Trae Young, and I was gonna say, can you tell the difference? But it's very easy to tell the difference. So, 26 points, 2 boards, 10 assists, 42% shooting from the floor, 37% from deep. Keep this in mind: 37% is the second highest mark of his career. Meanwhile, DeJounte Murray, 22, 5 and 6, 46 from the floor, 36% from deep. That is the third highest mark of his career. He's gone 39 his rookie year and 36. It's actually his highest total since 2019, 2020. I'm not saying that they're identical, but I don't think there's as big of a gap between these two guys as we want to make it out to be. All right, let's switch gears. Huge news. You love this one. I am sure of it. I am sure of it.
Yes,
I do
sir.
not. I do not love this quite so much. But Stefon Diggs is headed to Houston as the Texans continue to do an
Mm-hmm.
all-in build around CJ Stroud entering his second year. They are taking full advantage of the rookie scale contract that that CJ Stroud is on. I think it was what they give up 1 second round pick to
Yeah, for
add
next year.
Stefon
Next year.
next year second, which very well could be in the 60s.
Correct.
Seems that way. At the very least, you're looking at a mid 50s pick. They've now added Joe Mixon. You're bringing back Damian Pierce, who to be hopefully healthy. You've added Stefon Diggs. If somebody thinks the Texans aren't the favorite to win the AFC South, they're absolutely wrong. This is massive, Rick, for the Texans.
Yes, sir. The Casario, in Casario we trust. The Texans are putting on a clinic on how you go all in with a talented quarterback on a rookie deal. All GMs take note. This is how you go all in with a talented quarterback, a young quarterback that's currently on a rookie deal. You have to take advantage of this window. And I'm so glad my Texans have finally done something like this. I'm telling you, around here in the city of Houston, this is the most excited we've been about a Houston, Texas team coming into the season, probably in ever. Maybe it's since 2017-ish type of thing, but it's been a long, long, long time. So we're really excited here. I mean, to have those three guys, you got Nico, you got Tank, and then you have Tate. I say Tate. You got Stefon Diggs. Good luck. Good luck if everyone stays healthy. Big things are popping. We have a big time plans for Diggs. Now, people are going to talk about it, his divaness. Maybe so. But what's so beautiful about us grabbing Stefon Diggs is after this season, none of the rest of his money is guaranteed. So if he decides to do the food, Marsh, just let him go. None of his money after the season is guaranteed. Great job, great pickup, great job by my Houston Texans.
It pains me to agree. It pains me to agree that the Texans are as well positioned as they've been since they were up 24-0 on the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Man,
And
why you had to go there,
because
man?
I can't let you have every win in the world, so I've got
Oh
to find ways to
man.
chip away
Oh
at the
my
bottom of it.
God.
But this is it's a phenomenal offseason. You said it right. They've done a great job of building around. They've gone all in on it. It's comical to me that there's so much faith now in the front office after the years of just kind of wondering aloud if this front office knew what they were doing. Obviously, the previous regime had their challenges, but this team it might be better positioned now. I don't think it's a might. They're better positioned now than they were when it was Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins
Yes.
that were building this team. So it's going to be difficult for them to stop. And meanwhile, the Bills are now a shell of who they were. They've lost basically every player known to that roster. So send help. But we don't see a lot of quarterbacks making trade demands in the SWFL. Josh Allen might be one of the first because that roster is a
Yeah.
discredit to his talent.
You're wasting him in his prime right now this season, and we know you picking a wide receiver first pick in the draft for sure for you.
I mean, yeah, this is the only class where I think you can make sense. I'm sure there's going to be some metric out there that explains why Stefon Diggs is worth giving up on. He disappeared in the playoffs last season. But at some point, you still have to be able to give Josh Allen something. And now you're going to be running out, likely, like you said, a rookie wide receiver to be his number one. One thing that's not going to be running out for much longer is SimWorld Middle East, as ATJ Investments has pulled their investment in the program. So they're going to finish this season. And that will be it for SimWorld Middle East. Now, I don't want to spoil too much. I'll probably talk about it on the podcast on Monday. But I actually don't mind this, man. I mean, we got so many people clamoring, oh, what's next? This is a discredit to the region. Is it? They have four guys that are getting any type of college looks. Those four guys could easily be put and put on a different roster. I mean, we're seeing guys playing on different Cole Webb is playing in Los Angeles, and he's from Australia. Do we really think that those guys couldn't find a spot to play elsewhere on more competent teams? Why do I not mind this? This is why are we making a big deal out of this? It wasn't profitable, so let's immediately get out of the oh well, this doesn't feel right. Who cares, man? It's
Who
business.
cares? Yeah, I'm with you, Marsh. You know, this organization has won less than 20 games in 2 seasons combined. Less than 20 games in 2 combined seasons. You know, so the business is the business. So, but hear me out. I have a solution for all the SimWorld tops, the suits. California has 3 teams. Bay Area, Best Coast, Showtime. Man, go on put another team in Austin. Let's go have 3 teams in Texas. Austin, Houston, and Dallas. Or I'm a fair guy. I know I can hear you. I can hear y'all talk about my biases. Or let's take. We're gonna. It didn't work in the Middle East. Let's go SimWorld Australia. There's currently 14 SWBA players from the country of Australia. Let's go SimWorld Australia and just kind of take their place and let's keep it rolling. That's my 2
Wait,
cents.
hold on. What are you talking about? SimWorld Oceania is in Australia.
You heard me. SimWorld Australia.
You want to
have Oceania in Australia?
You just want to rebrand? You want a second team in Australia?
Why not? Well, okay, let me ask you this: what other country should we be reaching out to for SimWorld? If we're gonna take away Middle East, Marsh, are we replacing it with someone else, or are we just gonna have an odd number of teams now?
Well, I don't think that. Well, there's 2 things. One, there's only one player from the country of Australia, the continent of Australia, who does not play in Australia. That's Cole Webb. Every other player. So we might have exhausted the high-level prep resources of the continent as it is. So it's not like we've just got this infiltration of Australians everywhere else in the league. I don't think that we're going to start next season with an odd number of teams. I mean, take that information as you will.
Don't leave me hanging, man. Give me something.
Take that with as you will. I don't think we're going to start.
Don't leave me hanging, Marsh. Give me something.
There's another desert that doesn't have a team. There's actually 2 desert cities that don't have a team right now.
You guys think about that. Let's talk about. You know what? That's something after you guys listen to this, let's talk about that in the chat. Who do you think would be a really good?
That's all I can say is there's 2 desert cities that to me that currently do not have a team. That's what I will say on that. We have not had our producer in our ear today, so we've probably gone way over. But regardless, that is where our show will wrap up. We should hopefully be back with our beautiful shining faces tomorrow morning. No hoops action as we get a bye week in SimWorld Prep, but that does not mean the games aren't coming. Big stuff coming on Tuesday. Y'all have a great Thursday, and we will talk to you on Friday.
Go Texans.